Chetan Bhagat taking a revenge on you for Three Idiots.
I actually spent time with him only during the shoot of Decoupled, and we got on like a house on fire.
Big fan, like since forever. Sorry, if that made you sound like you're still a hot catch, but nevertheless.
Most harrowing part is when he tells the father that why he does not shake hands of teenage.
Like cuckoo.
It is something else, actually.
She delivered a baby and I look pregnant.
No, but you look good, in terms of...
But you look your part, huh? But that works. You look the part.
Madhavan and Surveen, welcome on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you so much, Faridoon.
Thank you, Faridoon.
All right, so I've seen the first 2 episodes of Decoupled. I absolutely freaked out. I think it's very, very entertaining. So congratulations to both of you.
So glad.
Thank you so much.
So Madhavan, my first question to you is that Chetan Bhagat taking a revenge on you for Three Idiots?
Maybe, but having met him in person, actually we haven't met too often in person. I actually spent time with him only during the shoot of Decoupled, and we got on like a house on fire. In fact, we're such good friends now that we're family friends and spend a lot of time together now.
Right. No, so I'm just joking, but that's what I felt.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have anything against you, of course, but we all know what happened. Okay, so so Surveen, congratulations. I think
Thank you.
It's such a cool show because I think we are in such a wonderful phase right now that we're coming up with such interesting content that you can have a show where you're talking maximum times in English, but it is still so relevant because a lot of people they do talk like that. So what was your first response like when you just offered this role?
So I was the first 5 episodes were actually sent to me, and I read the first 2, and I was pretty much sold. I hadn't read content like this. I hadn't seen something like this on any storytelling platform, whether it's a film or it's content that we watch day in and day out. It was such a refreshing change for me, and it was also my first project after my pregnancy, after I delivered my baby, and so I thought there was nothing better than this. Secondly, it was very exciting because the whole team, there was Hardik, Manu, incredible writer. Vikram called me and he spoke to me, and there's Sejal, the team, and then R.Madhavan, like big fan, like since forever. Sorry, if that made you sound like you're still a hot catch, but nevertheless. So yeah, it was just great writing. I told Vikram, I said, I want to play Arya.
It is such a fabulous character. It is.
What a fabulous!
I must say that I think Madhavan, in quite a few years, I think this seems like one of the most fascinating characters that you played. It is such seems like I've seen only 2 episodes. It seems like such a well written character. Okay, and Surveen, I don't think you look from anywhere that you've just delivered a baby. I think you look amazing.
Yeah, she delivered a baby and I look pregnant.
No, but you look good, in terms of...
But you look your part, huh? But that works. You look the part.
Yeah, right. The best part that I felt... see, right now we are having a lot of content, say, which is coming out on OTT, and a lot of it is nice. Maybe quite a bit of it is... they're just trying to copy, what is supposedly supposed to be OTT in terms of, cuss words and sex and this and that. So here, what I found it very interesting was that even though it's discussing things like orgasm, for example, and other stuff, but it is written so interestingly, and there is something new about it. There's something, the way it is approached is very interesting. So, Madhavan, how did you respond to it? That because I don't think you've done something like this ever.
No, I actually hear that with every project of mine, so I'm very happy. The thing is that, like you said correctly, we're very nervous because it's in English. But having
Right.
said that, it's in a language that we are all very comfortable in. And our biggest attempt was to not make people feel that English was not our first language, because this guy's a pulp fiction writer. He writes in English. So if he speaks in English, it shouldn't look like he's putting on an accent, or he's, either the wife or the husband. And suddenly when they have to speak in English, our English changes when we speak English in front of the camera. So our attempt was to keep it as real as possible, to keep the situation, the language, the dialogues, the delivery, the shooting of it, and great credit to Hardik and Manu for keeping it like that. It should really look like, you're having a peek into the life of a pulp fiction writer living in Gurgaon. So when I read the script, all that was coming across in the writing. It was just jumping out of the script and hitting me. And I was very excited. Now I didn't look, yaar, iska kya repercussion hoga, chalega to kya hoga, nahi chalega to kya hoga. All that was not even a part of my discussion with my own self. It was like, I got to do this, and I ended up doing it. That's it.
The interesting part is, say you are inherently from say Tamil background, and she's from Punjabi background. So the fact is that many people in India, they do communicate in English. They speak more English than maybe say Hindi or their native language. So it is something that a lot of people can relate to.
Yes, absolutely. I think that people underestimate the importance of English. That doesn't mean that you underestimate the importance of your native mother tongue as well. It's very important to know your Hindi, Tamil, Marathi, English, Telugu, whatever languages that you're from, because that's a safety net. Now, that's where you, because of your conditioning, that's where you'll find peace and solace later on in life. But English is a language of communication for a large part of the world, and you don't want to be left behind. And for a lot of us who studied in English medium schools and stuff, it is our first language. Like Surveen says, she thinks in English. So,
I think only in English. I can't think in any other language. Not even Punjabi so much, actually.
Right. And I think a lot of people, they tend to do. And we've seen, say, for example, in a show like, say, Family Man, for example, there is Tamil and there is Hindi and there is English. And I think all of it is just finding it's that we are consuming Korean content with English subtitles and no one is complaining. So I think these are extremely interesting times. All right. So, Surveen, tell us why you feel this show can literally be talked about, because as I mentioned to you, it is not like a copy of some other show, because people think ye sab masala aap dal diya aapne, and then you are ready with a hit OTT show. But it's not having those elements. It's not having say there is sexual talk, but you don't have to literally show it. To just
it's in context. It's in context.
It is in context, and it is more entertaining than having steamy scenes per se. I've only seen 2 episodes. I'm saying primarily from that perspective, and it's more interesting that way and engaging in a way that because the conversation, the writing, the way it is, this entire conversation that Madhavan Arya is having with Guruji around what an orgasm is all about. I think that is very interesting, and it is presented very interestingly, without being salacious.
Yeah.
Tell us something about the writing, both of you.
Yeah, Manu's writing, I mean, as actually Arya's character is he's quite an observer, right? I think most of Arya's traits actually do come from Manu. And his keen observation about life that's happening around him. Arya's entire personality and character traits have been etched out from Manu's keen observation, and also from who and how Manu is as a person himself. So when I actually read it, I found every bit of the dialogues and the screenplay extremely relatable. I felt like, this is very familiar. This is us. This is me and my husband. This is me and my partner. I think that relatability factor for me was the USP. Everything that we were saying in every scene, and Maddie would absolutely agree because we've discussed this over and over again, it seemed like, ये तो मेरे घर की बात कर रही हूँ यार मैं. मुझे अपने, I'm literally taking on set, I'm taking home with me, because the banter that these two have, the chick pick, the bickering that these two have just feels so real, and the credit has to be given to Manu as the writer, because it was just commendable. The way he's etched out Shruti also, for instance, to have somebody who's kind of, she's okay with this. She's given up on her partner. She's given up on the fact that this can ever go anywhere. I might not agree with that personally. But she's given up on the fact. She gets annoyed with every word that comes out of Arya's mouth. But yet, she still has love in her heart. She's still that vulnerable woman who Arya must have fallen in love with, or vice versa. There is no spite, there is no animosity, but it's just that Arya now gets on her nerves for various reasons that you'll know once you seeing the show. And every time they kind of organically by default they have their moments where you feel like, Arya, why they're so good together, then why? And then boom, something blows up, and thanks to Arya for that. So that whole roller coaster journey and the way Manu has actually put it on paper just felt like anybody from an urban society will be able to connect to what this is.
Okay, and Madhavan, it's such a interesting character that it's so easy to hate him, and even though he is quite a star in his own right, and each time he gets into a sticky situation, you as we as a viewer, we feel for him. Okay, now how deep can he go in? And the most harrowing part is when he tells the father that why he does not shake hands of teenage. It is
like cuckoo.
It is something else, actually. It is really something else.
Yeah. So it's very interesting, Faridoon, that you're able to understand the predicament that I as an actor had when I had to play Arya. See, it's very easy to make him ridiculous and, not and despised, like, ye to kamina hai. But the idea is that, people have to see in Arya what Shruti saw in him when they were about to get married. There has to be some charm to it. There has to be an innocence to it. There has to be a niceness to him. That's where all this stems from. The only problem is this guy has got no social filter, or jo muh mein aata hai, wo bol deta hai. Jo dikhta hai, wo bol deta hai. In fact, one of the most keen scenes that I really enjoyed or really thought was very ridiculous was when he's talking about Shruti's yoga pants, where he says, there is a rib that is running down the back of your thing, which is showing where your ass crack is, which is not right. Why do they do this to women? It's a crazy observation. It's just something that I think Manu Joseph will observe, but he verbalizes it. Most people will not do that and get into trouble. So I really thought, how does Maddie say that line and not come across as ridiculous? So I think I was looking out for an answer, and that's when Manu came up with the best idea, and he said it's always an observation, no, Maddie. And I realized, all I have to do is say it as an observation, not as a insult, not as a opinion. It's an observation. So observation ka koi emotion hota nahi hai. Which is how I held on to it and tried to keep him likable in the same time.
Right, and there is this saying that true, so true, yet painingly true. There are the other things other than the truth, like maintaining relationships, and that's something that Arya does not know, because I think truth is something that he has to be honest at all points of time. All right, and there are interesting elements about Amartya Sen and best-selling authors, and why he wants his book to be made into a commercial entertainer and not like an art film. So those are I think very interesting moments.